party people. A new day, it's a new vlog, it's a new book. So yesterday I started the audiobook for The Wicked King and today I finished it. I don't know if it was just like I just sat there and like got through it really fast or if this is just like a short book. Oh, it's okay. It's a pretty short book. Barely over 300 pages, yeah. This is the sequel to The Cruel Prince. The Cruel Prince is about this girl named Jude, or like it follows her. When she was young, her and her sisters were brought to the fairy world because their older sister was half fairy. Her mom ditched and left, and then the biological fairy father came in and was like, gonna take my peeps, and he yeeted the parents and then yeeted them to the fairy world. Anyway, it is not even June 1st. If that was a firework, I swear to God. So basically it's about Jude, who is immortal, trying to make life for herself in this fairy world where everything is weird and different and it's full of riddles and blah 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 blah. I quite enjoyed this sequel. I think I enjoyed it more than The Cruel Prince, although I am giving it the same star rating, which is a 4-star. The angst in this book, superior. I really wasn't that big of a fan of Jude and Cardan as a ship until this scene in this book that's about at the halfway point. Superior. The dynamic between the two of them and how Holly Black writes it and just plays with it is so freaking good. I absolutely love Jude as a character. I think she's so strong and it's written in a way that you really feel all of her emotions when she's sad or embarrassed or mad or triumphant or confused. Like something about the way it's written, and it's almost written somewhat plainly yet impactfully. I really don't know how to explain it, but Jude as a character, she just really is straightforward, but in a way that you feel what she's feeling, if that makes any damn sense. My complaints though are pretty similar to the ones that I had with the first book. I just think this world is not very fleshed out. I think it relies on the reader having knowledge of how fae stuff works. And I just feel like we really don't know some of the players in this world that well. I think they're just kind of introduced, but we don't know how much power they have, what's at stake. Holy crap, it is hot tonight. If some of these political world building ish scenes, whatever, were written as lushly and just intensely as the Jude Cardan scenes were, this book would be unstoppable. So perhaps that's why it's not quite there. I feel like that's gonna be my complaint throughout the whole series, because if it didn't change in this one, I don't see it changing in the last one. But the end had my wig, and I'm very excited to see where this goes. Hello friends. Have I read anything since I finished The Wicked King like 2 days ago? No. I've had like 0.0 attention span lately. So what do you do when you don't have an attention span? You read graphic novels. So I'm actually going to the library today. I'm gonna pick up some graphic novels. Gonna have a little graphic novel-a-thon, maybe? I don't know. There's a few on my list that are either checked out or they're at the other library. Personally, I would go to both, but I know my mom's not gonna want to, so. But basically, I'm going on Whitney's recommendation of what she's been reading lately. I'm gonna be trying to pick up Snot Girl. I think they have both volumes at the library, and Paper Girls, which they have quite a few from what I saw. So let's go. So I just finished the first volume of Snot Girl, and I do think I'm just gonna go straight away into second volume, but I wanted to stop and give a little update so that I could have my thoughts on each volume. It's a little hard to explain what this one is about because the plot has this element where you don't really know what's going on. It is followed around this 25-year-old girl named Lottie, and she is like a very popular fashion blogger, and so her life is very going to influencer parties, and she definitely has this kind of superior attitude. She like kind of talks shit about her friends. She's not exactly a likable character, as are none of the characters in this graphic novel, but it just makes it really fun because you're just reading about these people who are so self-absorbed and worried about very surface level things, but we also get to see the version of her that she doesn't put out to the internet. For example, she has bad allergies, hence Snot Girl, and so we get to see her in more vulnerable moments where she doesn't feel perfect. So there are humanizing qualities about her. Part of the plot that's a little confusing and doesn't really make sense is there's this murder mystery part, but you don't really know what the heck happened. And it's not really explained. I don't know if volume 2 will do that. It just kind of, I don't know, it has this very mysterious thing, but like it's also not a big deal. Like this girl is dead, but people are still caring more about their image and the fashion and the blogging, which I think is probably the point. We can be so self-absorbed that like a murder can happen and we're still just like, anyway, gotta go on Instagram. The artwork in this is gorgeous. This has to be one of my favorite graphic novels that I've read. Art-wise, everything is just so stunning and colorful. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. Some of the pages that they have in the back are really pretty as well. Like even just these sketches without the color for the most part is still like, I don't know, I just really like how it's drawn. And again, it just, there's so many striking images. Absolutely adore this. I'll probably get my own copy of this eventually because library copy. So yeah, if it wasn't for like the confusing and almost non-existent plot, I would probably give this 5 stars, but it's gonna be at a 4. Also, while I'm here, I'll do a little library haul, I guess. So obviously I got volume 1 and volume 2 of Snot Girl, which I'm going to be moving on to reading. And then I got the first 4 volumes of Paper Girls. I think I'm kind of just gonna go on a little graphic novel spree here since I did get so many from the library, and you know, sometimes you just need a little boost. Sometimes your brain cells need a break.
2 hours later.
So update, I have now finished Snot Girl volume 2. I loved this volume so much. Going in knowing that the plot is a bit nonsensical and confusing just made it such a better experience. I wouldn't really say this volume explains it as much as it just continues, so you kind of get more used to it and it's like slowly starts kind of resembling something. But I think what you realize, at least something that I realized when I wasn't so focused on knowing what exactly was going on, is the point that it's trying to make, which I think I talked about in the last clip a little bit. But that there's these horrible things going on and the characters are still just really thinking about themselves. And I think there's even points in this where they'll be like, do you even know how I'm feeling, when it's like totally not about them, because they're all these very shallow, self-absorbed people. And personally, what I get from this is that it's kind of taking the worst part of who we are as humans and humanity and broadcasting it. It really shows how we can be selfish and literally make everything about us, even when it's not. And it does this with this great backdrop of being an influencer and having to think so much about yourself and your own image. I don't think it does it in a way that, I mean, I guess maybe a little bit of shade towards influencers, but I don't think that's the intention. I think it's just shining a light on what society kind of is today. Like, I'm getting super deep and maybe it's not that deep, but like, despite my deep thoughts, I did think this was just really fun still. My camera going in and out of being blurry and not blurry, or am I just thinking it is? If it is, I'm so sorry. This book also does a really great job at using modern trends and lingo. There's a part, this literally like struck me, I screamed. A character says, "Thank the Lord," but it's spelled like Lord the singer, which is literally what I do, and I never thought I would see that in a book of any format, so I was screaming. The artwork continues to be impeccable. Again, these are some of the big illustrations that they have in the back, but I think it just shows it off really well. It's just so gorgeous. Oh my god. And there is some female romance repped in here, which had kind of been hinted at in the first volume, but not explicitly on the page, but it was here and I loved it. The dynamic of all these characters is just so good because they're always like on each other's nerves and like doing stupid shit, but they're just that kind of friend group. And I don't know, it's just, I loved it. I give it 5 stars. I thought it's genius and funny and fun and beautiful, and I love it. But yeah, I should go to bed, but I'm probably gonna have a snack first because I'm hungry, and I don't know why I'm telling you this. I'm just saying that I'm stopping my reading for the night. Tomorrow, I think I will dive into Paper Girls, unless my brain cells come back and wants to do some like novel reading. It is Pride Month this month, and I knew that like Snot Girl was like kinda gay. I don't, however, know if Paper Girls is. I hope it is, because I mean, it's a group of girls. At least one of them has to be kinda gay, right? I'm just trying to, you know, read some gay shit. I always am down for some gay shit, but especially during Pride Month, you gotta Wow, is this me filming a clip in the daylight? So the lighting is in utter trash. So I started out my day today by FaceTiming Whitney because typical. But after that, I went ahead and picked up Paper Girls Volume 1. This is about these 4 girls who are paper delivery girls. It's set in the 80s and they're out at like 4 in the morning on November 1st, so the day after Halloween. Just out delivering papers. One of the girls finds the other 3 girls and they're like, oh, you do this together? And they're like, yeah, boy. So like they become a little paper girl gang. All of this takes place during the one night. So they're out, you know, delivering papers, doing their thing, and then they come across this really weird thing and some really weird shit starts happening and they have to deal with it as a group. There's definitely a lot of mystery around this one because, again, kind of like in Snot Girl, you don't really know what's happening, but this is like definitely supernatural and mysterious and like, are they aliens? Is it, what is going on? Is it monsters? I thought this was a lot of fun. I really liked the dynamics between all the characters and the way they interacted with each other, their banter. I would say there is a bit of a trigger for some homophobia by the one character. I think it's there to represent the time period. I don't know. But I will say it doesn't go uncorrected. You know, it's not like everyone agrees with her. They're like, you can't. That's like, why are you saying that? That's wrong. But I thought, oh my god, I almost fell over. But I thought I would just inform you in case that's something you don't want to deal with, especially during Pride Month. I really enjoyed the artwork. I'm not 100% sold on the way the girls are drawn, just because to me they don't look 12, but however, it has one of my favorite color schemes a lot throughout this book, which is the cover here, like with the blue with the pink. Ugh, I know it. I love that kind of coloring in graphic novels. And this has quite a bit of it. There's just some really pretty scenes, as you can see here. It's quite my thing and I really enjoyed it. So I think I'm going to give this one 4 stars. It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty darn good. And since I do have the next 3 volumes, I think I'm just gonna keep continuing on. So today I went to see Rocket Man, which is the Elton John musical biopic thing. I love Elton John, so it was really fun. Anyway, the point of bringing up the camera. Paper Girls, Volume 2. I read this one last night. I don't know why I didn't film an update when I read it, because graphic novels, like, they slip your mind, at least me, so easily. But I did really enjoy this one, and I liked where it took the series. I think there's still, like, a lot of explanation that we have to do for the sci-fi sort of parts of it. But I loved where this one went, and I love that there's still this feeling of like, who do you trust? Sorry, I had to go into Imagine Dragons voice there. Because you really don't know what the heck is going on, and so you almost feel like one of the paper girls. You're just like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm here for the ride. I feel like I don't want to talk too much about it, because if you haven't read the first volume, then saying anything about this would obviously be a spoiler. But how do you talk about it otherwise? I don't know. I don't think it like wowed me, so I think I'm gonna keep it at 4 stars. But I am enjoying the series. I will be continuing. I still have volume 3 and 4 over there to read, but in a little bit here, hopefully my mother is gonna take me to our other library. I think we have like 4 in total, but there's 2 main ones, and I can request like one of the libraries to send things to the others, but I don't know how long that takes, because like I don't know, the last time I did that I was probably a child. So hopefully I will just get to go to the north side one today, because I have quite the list on my phone of everything that I would like to pick up there. All graphic novels. I decided that this vlog is just going to be dedicated to graphic novels, because I have one brain cell and that's all I'm reading. So I'm doing like my own mini graphic novel-a-thon. And I tried to specifically add some queer ones because it's Pride Month. You know what? Never mind. So I ended up not reading anything yesterday because I just kind of got busy and was doing some other things, but I just finished reading volumes 3 and 4 of Paper Girls. I decided to just kind of talk about these together instead of individually because I've realized as the series goes on, it's kind of hard to talk about it in any detail without spoiling what has happened in the rest, or at least spoiling some of the plot lines. But I am still really enjoying the series. I do think these are probably both gonna get a 4 stars just like the other ones have. I was thinking about it, and rating graphic novels is kind of difficult. What makes it a 4, what makes it a 5, because technically there's nothing that I think is necessarily wrong with these graphic novels. There's just something that isn't completely wowing me enough to give it a full 5 stars. But I just really love that this is a female driven story in so many different formats. I think the way it explains the world and everything that's going on in a science fiction sense, it does it pretty well. There are times that I'm kind of like, huh, but like the characters are at the same time, so it's not really an issue. I think the characters that we're continuing to meet throughout all of these volumes are very interesting, and even though they're side characters that are pretty much only with us for each graphic novel, they tend to have a little bit of fleshing out and reasons to either root for them, against them, etc. The way this series works, every little thing affects the world as a whole, and so I'm excited to kind of see how everything ends up wrapping up. So I'm definitely going to get volume 5 probably next time I'm at my library if they have it. Speaking of the library, I did get 4 books when I was there yesterday. I think they are all LGBTQ, except I'm not sure about this one, but I feel like there probably is just from what I've heard about it. So I'll start with this one because I don't really know how to explain it. Woman World by Aminder Dhaliwal. Whitney was texting me like little screenshots, or not screenshots, but you know, taking pictures of it, whatever. She was reading this the other night and she was showing me some of the parts of it, and it just looked so good and so funny. It's essentially a world where I think all the men are gone and it's just women. Ooh, sounds like my kind of shit. Next, I have literally no idea what this one's about. I'm pretty sure it focuses on a female-female relationship. When I went to the library the first time, someone had recommended this one, but I didn't see it until I got out. So I'm basically going off of this recommendation from one of y'all. It is On a Sunbeam by Hilly Walden. On the back it says, 2 timelines, second chances, 1 love. A woman joins a crew to rebuild beautiful broken structures throughout space and finds a new family. 2 teen girls meet at boarding school and fall deeply in love, only to learn the pain of loss. So that's really all I know about this one. Hope it's good. Next, I picked up the first volume, or book 1. I don't even know if this, whatever. Check Please, book 1 by Ngozi Ukazu. Don't know a whole lot about this except that it's about a hockey team. I love hockey. Let's see, on the back here it says, y'all, I might not be ready for this. I may be a former junior figure skating champion, vlogger extraordinaire. That's right, it's about a vlogger. Oh, I love that. And very talented amateur patissier? Patissier? Is that like... Siri, I did not ask for you. What are you doing? Yeah, I bet you don't understand, bitch. I didn't ask for you. Anyway, I don't know what that word is, but I'm guessing it has something to do with desserts because there's a pie there. But being a freshman on the Samwell University hockey team is a whole new challenge. It's nothing like co-ed club hockey back in Georgia. I don't know why I said that so slow. First of all, there's checking, and then there is Jack. So I'm guessing there's some MM relationship thing here, or at least desires. I don't know, we'll see. I've heard this is really cute and I'm excited. Finally, the last graphic novel I picked up is The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang. Again, Whitney told me about this. She said she absolutely loved it. Like, I think this was like a full 5 stars. All I know is that I believe this is a middle grade graphic novel and it is about the prince and the dressmaker. And so I think the prince is either non-binary or they just enjoy dresses, and so they get this girl to make dresses for them in secret, I think. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's something along those lines, and I've just heard literally rave things, so this is gonna be real cute. Hello, it's time for another update. So yesterday I read The Prince and the Dressmaker. This is, I think, my new favorite graphic novel of all time. There really isn't a discussion on on what Sebastian, who is the prince, kind of identifies gender-wise. We just know that sometimes he likes to dress like a boy and sometimes he likes to dress like a girl. Does that make him gender fluid? Possibly. There's no, like I said, discussion of pronouns. I think maybe I'll just use they just to be on the safe side, but otherwise I really enjoyed just the idea that it's presented that someone could enjoy doing both, and it was explained in a very simplistic way. There wasn't like, oh, we have to have like this long conversation to make it make sense. Like, no, it just makes sense, you know? I thought both of these characters were so precious. I loved their interactions together. I loved how they both were just discovering these parts of themselves with each other. For Sebastian, it was getting to wear these pretty dresses that were actually made for them, and for Frances, who is the dressmaker, it's finally getting to leave the place where she was just like doing tailors and explore herself as a fashion designer and her passion. I think I said this was middle grade, although the characters are, I believe, 16 in this, so I guess it's more young adult, but I really do think this is a graphic novel perfect for all ages. There's a part at the end that if it wasn't already 5-star favorite in my heart, it just made it that, and it was just so freaking good. I flew through this. If you haven't read this, I highly recommend. It's just so, it's so cute. Like, look at them. Ugh. I love it. Then after I finished that, I started on a Sunbeam. This is a very thick graphic novel, so I didn't quite finish it, but I'm going to do that today. It's an interesting plot because it takes place in 2 different time periods. We follow this girl, Mia. One time period is the present, where she is a part of this crew that rebuilds houses and buildings and such, and all of this takes place in space, so it's futuristic. And then in the past, we see her at boarding school. And so it flips back and forth, and we get to know her, this relationship she had with a girl named Grace in boarding school, and the way she is fitting into the crew 5 years later that she joins, and eventually those 2 paths kind of connect and see the big picture. My camera's about to die, I better talk fast. I really love this art style. I think the colors are so pretty, and the way that it is drawn is just really nice. One thing I don't like is that the font is so tiny. That took a while to get used to. I felt like this needed to come with like a magnifying glass or something, but now that I'm used to it, it's kind of okay, and I'm really enjoying the story. It's interesting, it's different. I feel like not everything has been explained in great detail, like why we're all in space. I don't think I've encountered a man this entire graphic novel, which is fine with me, but I don't know if that for a reason or if it just happens to not focus on any. So I definitely still have some questions, but I'm gonna talk more about this when I finish it.
The next day.
Ooh, back at it in the same spot. This vlog has probably been so boring because I haven't been doing anything. Sorry. Last night I did finish on a Sunbeam, like I said I planned to, and I quite enjoyed this one in the end. I think I'm gonna give it about 4 stars, something around there. I literally already forgot what I've said about this in the previous clip, so hopefully I don't forget anything. The representation in this is absolutely wonderful. There's many female-female relationships. The main focus relationship, whatever, is female-female. There is a non-binary character who goes by they them pronouns. I still couldn't figure out if this world just doesn't have men or if it just didn't focus on any, but I feel like if there's a they them character that there would then be men or like he pronouns. I'm not entirely sure. Like I said, I did not come across a man, and it wasn't a problem. I was just wondering if they don't exist anymore or like what's going on, because like I said, this is set in the future. It's spacey. The characters build stuff in space. Everything is set in space. So I think some of the world stuff could have been explained a little bit better. I wish Elliot had their storyline explained a little more. We got it a bit at the end, but Elliot doesn't talk, and I don't know if they ever explained why they don't talk. I know there was something like traumatic that happened, but I don't know if it was supposed to be what we find out about their storyline at the end or if it was something else, because I got the indication that it was something else, something that happened during Elliot's time with some of these characters. I'm not entirely sure. Like I said, wish that was a bit more explained. But overall, I did enjoy this. 4 stars, somewhere around there. So there are 3 other graphic novels I would like to get to before uploading this vlog and in this vlog, blah blah blah, because it's been a graphic novel theme. and it's kind of been a queer graphic novel theme. I think every graphic novel I've read has had queer representation. The least would be Paper Girls, but there was even a sliver there. So the last three I want to read are Women World, Check Please, and Heartstopper. I am going to prioritize these two first because they are library books, and then Heartstopper will probably be where I finish off. Ideally, I get them all read today.
The next morning.
Back at it in the same crusty hair and tank top. So guess how many books I read yesterday? Just one, not the three that I had hoped for. But I read Check Please. Felt a freshman in college. He loves to bake. He loves to skate. He's a vlogger. Before college, he had only played in a non-contact hockey league, and he was more focused as a figure skater than a hockey player. But he gets into college on a scholarship with the hockey team, and he's basically afraid of being checked or like hit. This was so freaking adorable. I personally love hockey. I love baking. I obviously vlog, so I could really relate to this one. I just really loved the dynamic between all of the characters, between the team. Biddy is a freaking little cinnamon roll. I want to give him so many hugs. This was just a lot of fun. I was laughing, I was awing, I was just having a good old time. My only problems is that I felt this to be kind of choppy because a lot of the times our updates are coming from his little vlog moments, and it just kind of felt like there wasn't a full-on narrative. It was just kind of like, oh, this is what happened with the team. Oh, this is what's going on now. This is blah, 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 blah. I definitely got used to the style of it more as the book went on, but it was a little strange and it was hard to kind of see what story this was overall trying to tell, what kind of arc. My other thing is that the romance was so cute and had me squealing, but it only comes about very briefly at the end, and I wish there had been a little more leading up to it, a little more exploring it. I'm hoping that will happen in the second volume because, like I said, I really loved it and I want more. Other than that, I did really love this, so I give this one 4 stars. This is split between Biddy's freshman year and sophomore year, and I think I definitely enjoyed the parts on sophomore year the best because it just felt like the characters really shined the most. Also, at the back of this book, it has extra comics as well as a collection of tweets that Biddy sent out because he loves to tweet, which I understand that. So if you read this, absolutely do not skip those parts because they had me smiling so much. So the goal then for today is to still get through my last 2 graphic novels here. I'm very excited to read these, and I'm very excited to finish this so I can edit this video and upload it because I don't think it's been like a week since I uploaded a video. Oops, sorry. Oh well, who cares? Probably no one. Sorry if you can hear A, my window fan, B, the children screaming outside. School doesn't even officially let out until Wednesday, but they're already going like rabid, crazy freaking things. God, I love children. This is such a bad angle because the light is back there, so I should be doing it like over there like I normally do when it's daytime, but I'm freaking lazy. I just finished Woman World. I think I'm going to give this 4.5. It was really freaking good. I went into this knowing I was going to like it because Whitney recommended it to me, and she had like sent me like parts of this book that she found really funny like in the beginning, and I already had loved it just from what she sent me. This is basically about a world where men go extinct. Love that. So it's all women just kind of figuring out this new world that they're in. The reason that I give it 4.5, why it wasn't 100% completely perfect satisfying, is that I think I went in expecting more of a linear story and like a why this kind of happened, just with like humorous things going on as well. But it's definitely more of just little random parts, bits and pieces, little comics all put into one graphic novel package. So I think if you go in knowing that, then you'll absolutely love it, and if you don't go in knowing that, you'll still probably love it because it's so funny at times. Like, laugh out loud. I could scream at this book. The art is like super simplistic, but I think that really just adds to the humor of it. So yes, I would absolutely recommend this. So I'm now going to move on to my last graphic novel for this vlog. It's Heartstopper. If you watched my last vlog, then you know that this was sent to me by my lovely, lovely friend Sasha. Sasha, if you're watching, I love you. I truly know absolutely nothing about this book. I've just heard good things, and honestly, the cover art just is so freaking cute that I just wanted it. The back just says, boy meets boy, boys become friends, boys fall in love. So it's gonna be like a cute little MM romance, and I think it's gonna be good because I've heard good things. Okay, I'm gonna read now. So I'm not finished with this graphic novel yet. I'm like, I don't know, a little under halfway, but I just had to take a moment and put this book on my head because Okay, first of all, it's just so cute in like every way. But more importantly, there is a dog and the dog is wearing a jacket. I'm gonna die. This graphic novel is so cute. Oh my god. For this last clip, I decided to actually get up where the better lighting is, so you're welcome. I just finished Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. Oh my god, this was so cute. I just kept squealing the entire time. The art is just so like simple, but like also really cute. I think Nick and Charlie's story is just really simple, but not in a bad way, in more of like a realistic way. We get to see them become friends and then develop this crush on each other, and it ends at a really like kind of cliffhangery moment, so I cannot wait for the next volume. I know in the back here it says that she posts this on her Tumblr, so I could probably continue online, but I think I'm going to wait for the next volume to come out just because that's how I particularly prefer to consume this sort of media. I just absolutely love this. This probably gets a 5 stars because I really can't think of anything that I didn't like about it. I flew through this. The only thing is like I want more. I want the next volume. I've never read an Alice Oseman book before, but I was reading the like author's note, I think it says in the back of this, and apparently these characters first appear in her first YA novel, Solitaire. Not as main characters. The main character in that is Charlie's sister, Tori, who I thought was an interesting character just from popping up in this novel very briefly, so I may have to check out that book. Also, I was reading the little like thing about the author here. It's a drawn picture of her because a graphic novel, so cute. But she was born in 1994, which is the year I was born in, so you're telling me that she has 3 full novels and a graphic novel under her belt, and she's my age. Do you ever just hear about someone your age being like super successful and you're just like, damn, wish that were me? But yeah, I absolutely love this. If it at all sounds interesting to you, I would pick it up. It's not like groundbreaking new material, but it was just so sweet. I could not stop. Just like, oof, it was so good. The dog in this is so cute. Oh, cannot recommend this enough. I just love this art style. I love everything about the aesthetic of this book. It's just some good shit. So that concludes this vlog that was probably pretty boring, in which I read, I don't even know how many graphic novels I read, but it was all graphic novels. And they were all at least a little gay. So happy Pride Month, gals and gays. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. I hate children.